In the repair shop today, the first item of its kind to come through the barn doors
I'm quite amazed by that. Over 100 years old.
And still, it stands.
becomes a labour of love for Will.
All of these pieces are from a bombed-out church, and screws alone won't keep this in one piece.
And it's a joint effort
I like those a lot.
Can't have them, just clean them.
OK.
to rescue a weathered set of ship's tools.
It has had all those years of use at sea. Salt on leather is not a great combination.
But first into the barn are sisters Angie Jackson and Carmen Henry from Birmingham. They're hoping organ restorer David Burville
It'll be quite an interesting one. It's
big enough, though, isn't it?
It is huge.
can revive what was once their mum's pride and joy.
Hello. How you doing? I'm Jay.
I'm Carmen.
I'm David.
Hi, Jay. I'm Angie.
Hi, Angie. I'm David.
So what is this, then?
It's a pump organ.
And a pump organ does what?
So it stands up.
Oh, right, that's why you got the handles.
Yeah.
OK.
And then these pedals, which are broken, the straps are broken, you pump and then you play.
God, blimey, that is heavy.
They call them pump organs or reed organs because they work on, like an accordion, they have little reeds inside them. That was the way they could condense something to this size and it would still sound like a bigger instrument.
Have you heard this played?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
when we were children.
Yeah. One of us would pump the bottom
OK.
and one would play the top.
Oh, the keys?
Yeah, the keys,
yeah.
So who played this, then? I know you guys did, but...
Yeah,
Our
Mum.
mothers.
Mum.
Yeah.
This was Mum's,
Yeah, it was Mum's
Yeah.
organ. She brought it with her from Jamaica in 1954.
So what was Mum's name?
Vera, Doris, May.
So tell us about Vera Doris May.
Well, Vera was born in Jamaica in 1920.
A force to be reckoned with, really.
Okay.
Yes.
When she spoke, everybody listened. But one of the kindest ladies you could ever wish to meet.
Yeah.
Do anything
Very
for
kind,
anybody.
very loving, wonderful mother.
Yeah.
Why did she come to England?
Well, she'd married our dad in Jamaica in 1946.
OK.
And with the Windrush emigration to the UK...
After the Second World War.
After
Yeah.
the Second World War,
Yeah.
they decided that they were going to come here.
And he just said to her, you know, give it all, just give it all away. You can't bring it with you.
Give what all away? Like all
The
the
furniture
furniture.
and everything. Just give it away and come. You know, just come with a suitcase.
And she brought this. So this must mean a lot to Mum, because this would have took up a lot
Yeah.
of space, really.
Yeah, it would have, yeah. But she was not leaving it.
So what sort of music would have been played on it, do you know?
We were brought up in the church, so she played hymns on it,
Yeah.
and Dad would sing with his lovely voice. Yeah. He sounded like Jim Reeves. He did, yeah, he did.
So when was the last time you heard this played?
Probably about 1972. Yeah.
Been quite long.
It's been quite a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
Sorry to say it, but why is it in such a state now?
A few of the keys weren't working, and our dad decided that he'd do a bit of DIY and try and fix it, and ended up completely ruining it, much to our mother's disgust.
And the house that I live in, we've modernised it, hence bits of paint and things like that.
So David, what do you reckon? We're going to get it playing, aren't
Yeah, I hope so. Can't wait to get cracking on it.
Oh, fantastic.
we? Well, thank you for bringing it in.
You're very welcome.
OK.
Thank you, David.
You guys take
Okay.
it now.
Thank
Will
you.
do.
OK.
I'm hoping that David will be able to restore the organ to its former glory. It was a beautiful piece of furniture and made an absolutely beautiful sound.
Mum would be really chuffed to see us here with the organ. It's made such a long journey, it meant so much to her. She would just be smiling down on us.
Now, this is a big baby, isn't it?
Yeah,
Hey?
it is, yeah.
So, what's wrong with it? What you got to do? Eh?
Well, the bellows, we've got to...
That's underneath.
Yeah, that's underneath.
OK.
Then the casework, which is obviously pretty rough.
Yeah.
That wants all stripping back and redoing. The main concern is the reeds. They're crucial to it because that's what produces the sound. So we've got to take all the case to pieces, all the mechanism to pieces, and then we can actually reach those.
All right, well, let's get you started. Let's get this over to your work area.
It's fantastic.
This is heavy, man.
It's a lump, isn't it?
Yeah. Ready?
OK, great. Cheers. It's a bit like opening Pandora's box. You don't know what you're going to find. And you can see in here, these are actually the reed banks. So I'm just going to hook the tool on. That's one of the brass reeds. This one looks OK, but we're going to have to take them all out. Ah, what have we got here? A piece of paper. Oh. Oh, wow. Seems like it's a caricature of an Olympic athlete, like a sweet card. But that's quite a neat find. I can't find any that are really damaged, so I think what I'm going to have to do is start to disassemble, and then we'll see how the valves are.
Outside, two more sisters hoping to save a beloved part of the family furniture. Wendy McKee and Sue Willie from Hull. It's furniture restorer Will Kirk who'll be taking on this project.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? I'm Jane.
Good, thank you.
And
I'm
you are?
Wendy.
Oh, Wendy.
I'm Sue.
All right, Sue.
See Sue and Will.
Hi, Will. Hi, Will.
Hi.
Hi.
So this little crib must be yours.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Tell us the history behind it.
It was made by our granddad, Charles Taylor. He was called up to the First World War, and he had his first daughter, Frances May, and he wanted to make a cot for her before he went. There'd been a church bombed near where they lived, and he went and salvaged some of the wood, borrowed it.
Borrowed the wood. All right, I like that. He borrowed the wood.
We believe these are the spells from the altar.
Okay.
And the rest of the wood is what he could find apart from this. And we think some of these, maybe these, our dad put them in because it got broke, didn't it, when we was
when
little?
we was playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is pretty good for someone, you know, who's just put something together from bits of a church.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our granddad left to go to France to fight.
Did he make it back?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was reunited with his family, yeah, which went on to have more and more children.
So how many children have actually slept or used this?
Well, there was 8, weren't they, of my mum's?
8?
Yeah,
And there was 6 of us.
yeah.
Oh, you guys have been in this, is what you
yes,
said?
when we
They did
was younger,
this when
yes.
we was younger.
Oh, bless. So 6 and 8, and then
I've got 9 grandchildren.
you've got 9
9
grandchildren.
9 grandchildren, yeah.
Wow.
They've all been in the crib to carry on the tradition.
Yeah. What would you like Will to do to this?
We'd like something like this put on the end
On
of there.
there and maybe get a couple of new spells. I think
Yeah.
so it don't rattle and rattle and...
Yeah, it's a bit wobbly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The paintwork on here, who's responsible for this?
We are.
Okay. Why'd you say it like that?
Because we got into trouble for doing it.
Oh.
Our youngest brother, when he was born, we decided it would be nice to paint it blue.
So how did you get into trouble then? That's something quite nice.
We ran out of paint.
Right.
I think it was white underneath, but we was really sorry, weren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely sorry.
Bless you.
So is this to be used again?
Yeah, I promised Mum before she died that we'd keep it in the family. We're going to lay Mum's youngest great-granddaughter in it, who is named after her, Elsie. But when she's grown out of it, it's coming back into it.
Yeah.
I can see that. It's coming straight back.
Okay, it's come back to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for bringing it in.
No, thank you.
All
Thanks
right.
ever so
I'll
much.
try my very best for you.
Oh, that's lovely.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
To see it in its original state would be fabulous.
If we could see what it looked like when Grandad first made it, then I'm sure Mum and Grandad would be very pleased.
I'm quite amazed by that. Over 100 years old.
And it's been through 2 wars and still it stands.
Yeah. So what are you going to do then?
Wow.
Yeah, obviously you've got to replace that.
So that bit is missing from there.
Yeah.
We're missing a few of these bits here. It's really wobbly and it needs to be safe to use.
Yeah.
So I like to get this nice and sturdy again, sand it back, repaint it, and then ready for the next generation.
All right, let's get it over.
First thing, I need to knock this apart, clean out the joints and get it glued back together. There's so many nails hidden under the paintwork here. A lot of them are rusted in place. It's almost like extracting bad teeth. It seems to be coming out quite well. There's a lot of paint on there. I'm not too sure how easily it's going to come off, but I'm going to start sanding it with the electric sander and see how I get on.
Across the barn, David has managed to dismantle the broken portable pump organ to allow him to inspect the leather and felt valves belonging to its musical keys.
There appears to be some water damage. You can see here that these valves are discoloured, and it rather suggests that maybe a drink has been spilt inside, maybe by little children. We have to ensure that all of these valves are 100% airtight when the key is pressed to get the correct note. Even the slightest amount of airflow through, it will sound like bagpipes droning away in the background.
To make his repairs, David has to remove all of the organ's 40-odd valves, one by one.
We're working our way towards the water-damaged valves, and you can see here that the water has settled onto the leather, and it's caused the leather and the felt to go hard. So this valve would no longer seal. So I'm removing the old felt and leather, and then we're going to replace it with some new. Brush of glue. So that's the felt and leather now attached to the wooden backing. Once those are all done, hopefully give us sweet music.
Now that he's fixed the leaky valves, David can investigate the bellows, which act like the instrument's lungs.
We've got some cracking on the surface where you've got the main creases.
David is worried that over time, the cracks could turn into holes.
So I'm just putting these white leather patches onto the rubber cloth surface, just so that it helps to strengthen the corners where it folds. All I need to do now is to give it a coat with the rubber solution paint, and then that's going to seal it up nice and airtight. I'm really pleased with the way that's come out. The rubber paint has really come up nicely, and they're working really well, so I'm pleased with that. I'm on to the casework now. An instrument like this, it was built to be portable, and normally they were used for missionaries and this sort of thing that were taking them out. So they were always subject to some sort of damage. But I've not come across one before that's actually had household paint all over it. So what I've got to do is try and rub the case as gently as possible back down to some sort of original finish, and then re-polish the surface. Hopefully it'll be as immaculate as it can be.
Outside, Another well-travelled item has arrived, which belongs to Nick McCullen from Southampton. He's hoping leather expert Susie Fletcher can rescue it.
Hello.
Hello there.
How you doing? I'm Jay.
I'm Nick.
I'm Susie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So what have you brought in for us?
I brought in a naval rigging set.
Oh.
Let's have a look.
This was my father's. He did national service, like a lot of men his age.
Okay.
So he joined up at 18 for 2 years. And then later on, he joined the Royal Naval Reserve as a seaman. And this was the rigging set he would have been issued.
What would he do with this then?
So you'd use it for different aspects. One would be for splicing rope. As an example of Dad's splicing here. So that's just one piece of rope with the two ends spliced together, so it's just made a loop.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. You'd use things like this. That's a small marlin spike. And that would be for untying knots as well as doing the splicing. And then there's this knife.
Oh, wow, look at that.
They call that a seaman's knife. It's a bit like the early sort of Swiss Army knife, you know.
So how come you've got this then?
So my dear Dad died last year.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I was mooching about the garage, and I mean, this hadn't been used for probably about 40 years. And it was hanging on a hook. And I remember Dad wearing this.
So you actually saw your dad using this?
Oh, yeah, I can remember. Mum would take us down to the docks, and it would be slung down on his right side here. And I can remember him sort of leaning back and picking out a knife or maybe out a spike and just wearing it. And it was just... It came familiar because it was just part of his rig.
So what's actually wrong with it?
The leather here is all crumbling away, and that looks like that's been mice nibbles. I love the belt repaired.
Okay.
And I don't know whether you can do anything without abrasion, just to preserve it so it doesn't deteriorate anymore, and if it could just be fixed so it looks a bit more whole. Like it's still usable,
right.
Not that it's going to be used, you know what I mean?
It's been like this for 40 years, so why do you want to get it repaired now then?
Well, it just reminds me of Dad.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm sure it tells many stories.
Yeah, if it could speak, it probably could tell lots of stories.
Yeah.
Tell you what, leave it with us.
Okay. Thank you.
And we'll hopefully do something with it. Yeah? All right.
Thank you.
All right, you take care.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's only 18 months since Dad's gone. He didn't have many mementos and such, so it's really nice to have something to remember him by, you know. And I just really hope that Susie can work her magic and inject some life into it. I'd be really pleased.
So what have you got to do? I know you've got to bring it back to life somehow.
Yeah. I mean, this is rock hard. It's so hard, I could literally just snap it. It's... So this is going to be a case of preserving what we've got. It won't be able to be used for anything.
Yeah.
We've got to tidy this up just so that it doesn't deteriorate anymore.
Okay.
The belt, clearly, we've got a break here.
This bit here?
Wow, that is a mess. The top of it is going to be the tricky part, where the mice have had a bit of a nibble.
What I'll do is have a word with Brenton to see if he can tidy up some of this. Let's get them looking tip-top. And if you need any help, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes. See ya.
Right,
Thanks.
How are we doing, Brenton?
Very good.
I've got some tools for you. Yeah. And they're a little bit worse for wear.
They've been a bit rusty, aren't they?
Well, if you can, just clean these up.
Highly polished or just tidied up a bit? Or...
I would say just tidied up a bit, getting rid of some of this rust that's on there.
OK.
Is that all right?
Yeah. I like those a lot.
Can't have them, just clean them.
OK, we'll do.
Right.
OK.
No problem.
So, looking at Nick's father's rigging set here, the leather's actually in a pretty poor state. It has had all those years of use at sea with the salt water, and salt on leather is not a great combination. And then years hanging up in the garage, just drying out, and that has a huge effect on the leather also. So the first thing I really need to do is start putting some feed into this leather. And by feed, I mean putting some oils and greases back in. And I don't want to handle it too much at this stage of the game because it is really quite fragile. Once I've got it into a condition that I like, then I can start with the repair work.
At his bench, David has almost finished restoring the pump organ that was brought over to England from Jamaica during the Windrush years.
That's fantastic. Now we've got all of the casing repolished and back together. The next stage is to attach the pedals to the bellows. It's quite crucial that I work out the length so that the pedal will bottom out first before it pulls the bellow too wide open. So I think that's just about a nice distance. If I just push the pedal, you can see that the bellow actually moves out as it's supposed to do. So I'm just going to stand it upright. So we've actually got sound out of it, and I'm really pleased with that. It's come up really nicely, and I can't wait for Angie and Carmen to see it and hear it.
When it arrived at the barn, this 1950s organ had suffered damage inside and out, and it hadn't been played in over 40 years. Sisters Angie and Carmen hope their late mum's prized possession has been restored to how it was when they gathered around it as children to sing.
We're really excited and a little bit apprehensive as well.
Very apprehensive. Yeah. The organ was so important to our mum. The memories it'll bring back, that's the apprehensive bit of it.
Hello.
Hello.
See, now, when I get a smile like that, I've got to give you a hug. How you doing?
Oh, hello.
You all right?
Oh,
Likewise.
Thank you, Joe. Yes.
Oh, can't wait.
We are really excited to see what you think about this. Okay. You ready to sit?
We're ready.
There you go.
Oh, God, my goodness. Look at this. Oh, my word. Oh, God. That is beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, David.
Get me going.
Why did you do this?
OK, did we do good?
That is amazing. It's amazing. It's the whole look of it. It's just because that's how Mum would have seen it first, isn't it? That's how she would have seen it.
It's all there as she left it, you know.
Amazing. It's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome.
I'm just speechless. I'm blown away by it. I really am, honestly.
That's a good sign.
That's wonderful, yeah.
Oh.
When you open these things up, you never know what you're going to find, and sometimes you find treasures, but it's... Now, I'm assuming this came from a doll's tea set. And that is a little bubblegum card.
Yes, I would have posted those.
Those would have been...
It's not
It's
really
just stuffed in there for no good reason.
Look at that guilty face. Look at that. Oh, bless you.
Just me being naughty as usual.
I know the feeling. So the next thing really is to hear it play.
Over to you.
OK. Come on, then.
Oh, it's lovely. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay.
It's all yours. You all right?
I am, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, wow.
That's about as much as I can get.
Oh, that's good. That's perfect. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Can't believe I remembered how to pedal this. It was lovely to be sitting at the organ again and playing it and bringing back all those lovely memories. Thank you, guys. It sounds lovely. It sounds beautiful. Hearing that wonderful music coming out of it was amazing. Wonderful music, thank you. It was wonderful music. Well, I couldn't do it. That is how Mum would have seen it and how it would have looked when she first played it. It was her pride and joy. If she was here, she'd still be in there playing it now.
Will's ready to begin crafting new parts for the wooden crib that was homemade out of salvaged bomb debris in the First World War.
So I've got 2 missing spindles I need to replace. I've got these little pine blank blocks. I'll put that into the lathe. I'm using a pencil here to mark out reference points where I need to turn. It's really easy to take off too much wood, so you have to really plan out what needs to be taken out and where those bits of detailing are, because you can really quickly remove too much and have to start again. I'm pretty pleased with that. It's almost a shame that it's only missing 2 of these pieces because I really love turning on the lathe. You can almost get lost in doing it. I kind of get more pleasure than sort of work out of it. The last piece of woodwork that needs to be replaced is this top bar. This is the original. The other side had been replaced with a piece of wood. So I'm going to try to recreate this now so we've got a nice perfect match. So I'm using my fingers and the pencil to sort of mark out where the line is that needs to be copied. And I sort of keep my hands in the same place, move it over here, and I can kind of use that to mark out a perfect template. I'm going to use my carving gouge to start hollowing that out.
While Will continues to preserve the crib, Susie and Brenton are on a joint rescue mission to save the naval rigging kit.
That's good. The stitching is neat and tidy on both front and the back. You want kind of like a seamless thickness running through the belt. More importantly is that the leather is held together. It hasn't cracked. Still not out of the woods yet, but so far so good.
So Jay's asked me to clean these tools up. So it's a fine wet and dry and lots of rubbing, and that gets rid of the surface rust. So I'm using a microcrystalline wax polish, and this wax won't damage the surface, and it will also protect it from moisture and hopefully stop it rusting again. I can use it on the metal and the wood. It gives the wood a nice lustre.
Not so straightforward will be restoring the riveted edge of the mouse-eaten pouch.
What I've done is I've come up with the idea of creating this collar around the complete top of the pouch here, both front and back, running it over the edges that will hold everything tightly together. It does mean that you're going to see that it's a repair, but at this stage, I don't see any other way of consolidating this very fragile and old leather. I just need to let that sit and fully cure, and it'll be ready to be riveted together.
Hi, Susie. Jay brought me some tools, which
Oh, wow.
they've still got their pattern there, but they're a bit shiny now.
Amazing. I think Nick's going to be really chuffed with that.
I hope so. I hope so.
Brilliant. Cheers, Brenton.
Okay.
Now I'm going to put the rivets in. I'm really happy with that. The marlin spike goes in perfectly. It's held in place, but it's not stressing the leather.
Now Susie has to address just one more problem.
This is the pouch that Nick's father used to keep his knife in, like so. Through all these years of the knife going in and out, the tip has worn through the leather here. What I want to do is go in and start filling this with leather paste. So I'm going to just gently push this down into the crevice here and just get that nicely packed down. So it's really important that I managed to save this for Nick. Having recently lost his father, I remember myself clearing out my dad's workshop and coming across his music cases. And it was one of those moments where it just stopped me in my track. He was, you know, a very good musician. And whilst I have no use for music cases, I wasn't going to get rid of them. And they're on my list of things to preserve myself. I just need to let that sit and dry. I get that fully hardened before I start with the second layer.
Across the barn, with all the replacement parts now created,
This is the exciting bit.
the next challenge for Will is to make this make, do and mend baby crib stable again.
All of these pieces are, you know, from a bombed out church. Nothing has been originally made and cut to be a crib. So there are lots of imperfections, lots of wobbly joints, and screws alone won't keep this in one piece. So I'm going to glue this together now. It's an expanding glue because there's so many gaps between different pieces of wood here. Once that glue's dried, it's been nice and firm. Then I'll put in the screws to give it that extra strength that it needs. The clamps are off, all the woodwork's done. This is one stable crib. All I need to do now is get the paint on there. I cannot wait to get some new fresh white paint onto this crib and having it look like something that is fit for a baby.
On her bench, Susie's almost on the home straight with the naval rigging set.
The leather filler is dry, where all that damage was in the pouch here. But you can see that it's very evident that there's leather filler in there. What I want to do now is to try and disguise the repair as much as possible. So I'm using a leather stain, really penetrates the leather nicely and should tone everything down. I'm really happy with this. It's coming up really beautifully. I can't wait to see Nick's face when he gets to see the whole rigging set put back together.
For Nick, his late father is personified by the boat mending kit. Years at sea, before being forgotten in the garage, had left it almost beyond repair.
Hello, Nick. How lovely to
Susie.
see you again.
Lovely to see you again.
How are you doing?
I'm not bad. How are you?
Very well, thank
Good.
you. So, what sort of condition was the rigging set in?
In need of a bit of TLC. I'm hoping that you've managed to do something magical.
Let's see if I've been able to produce the magic.
Please. Oh, wow. Oh, my. That is awesome. Can I touch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that feels... it feels much better than it was. Oh, wow, look at that as well. It's been burnished up nicely. I can't see the join.
What are you thinking?
I think Dad would be, he'd be impressed. It's how he would have known it to be as well. I'm overwhelmed. Sorry. I shall treasure this. I shall treasure this. This is it's just something that I can touch and hold and look at. Remind me of Dad. Times that used to go and see him.
What are you going to do with it now?
I'll take it home carefully and I shall get a shelf up and put it on the shelf, and I shall put a picture of Dad up so that I've just got that to look at and just remind me of him.
Good. Thank you so much for bringing it in.
Thank you very much for
Nick.
doing it, Susie. Thank you.
And you can now take it home.
Thank you. I was blown away with what she'd done. It's a nice way to remember and honour Dad. It's a memento, obviously, that I've now got and to look after. But yeah, I think it's really nice that we've managed to do something for Dad, to remember Dad by.
Will has also nearly completed his project, the homemade wartime crib. A custom-made mattress will make it fit for a 21st century baby.
Should fit perfectly. Look at that. Perfect. As a cherry on the top, these two sweet little blankets. I hope that Wendy and Susan are going to be happy with my bed-making skills.
The sisters are back at the barn, hoping the crib, created by their grandfather out of wartime destruction, can be passed down many more generations to come.
The crib's so important to us because it's gone through all of the family from 1914 right up to 2019.
The crib wasn't in very good condition when we brought it in. I've often thought, oh, I would love to get it repaired just for Mum's memory and Grandad's sake, for all the hard work he put into it and the love that he put into making it for his only daughter at the time.
Hi there.
Hello.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
See you. Nice
It's
to see you.
lovely to be back.
Do you remember the state
I do.
of the crib when it came
We
in?
certainly do, yes.
And it was a mess.
Has it still got the blue paint?
Oh, we'll have to see. Should we have a look?
Yes.
You ready?
Please.
Oh, please. Oh, so...
Oh, no. Oh, that is beautiful.
Oh, that is just how bam at it.
Exactly the same. Still rocks.
It still rocks, yeah. I love it that it's still got the little nicks in the wood and...
Yeah, you can see it, can't you?
Yeah.
Where it's been used.
It's been used and that's what it was meant for, wasn't it?
Exactly.
To be used.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And to be cherished. And the piece of wood that Dad stuck on Scotland.
Yeah, it's absolutely marvellous.
Thank you so much. It means such a lot and we're going to take it home and we're going to lay our mum's namesake in it. which will be our great-great-granddaughter.
Great-great-granddaughter.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, I hope that it's going to stay in the family for many, many, many more years to come.
I'm sure it will.
It will.
Well, it's over to you now.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Careful.
Oh, I will be. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, I'm absolutely amazed about the crib.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely terrific.
Brings back memories, definitely. Definitely.
Many happy memories of Mum. I'm sure she's looking down on us now.
Definitely.
I'm sure she'll be very pleased with what we've done.
Giving us a clap.